I'm gonna actually start recording this, and
Okay.
so that way we can use it. And so but anyway, so well, so what was I saying? So yeah, so anyway, yes, I've been in Nebraska since like 2007. Yeah, like before this virus, my plan was to move back to kind of home, which is Las Vegas for me.
Okay.
And so I guess, well, one of my homes, I guess, is Las Vegas, and so that's where I was before I moved here. And so I'm just, but that's Nebraska. Like our zip code, like where I live, there's only like one virus case, I think. Like
Okay.
so, like in the county, I mean, there's like, I mean, right now, I mean, Nebraska is one of the least hit places. I mean, Omaha or whatever proper has gotten some cases and stuff, but not. And so with that being said, yeah. So with that being said, it's like moving and getting like a U-Haul or something, or doing all that and like getting out and getting in and going to hotels and all that kind of stuff. Like I think that probably would be a bad idea. And so like
Yeah.
in Vegas is like I don't know if you saw like the mayor of Vegas, like it's all over the news right now, but like um she's like she doesn't care about anything, and she's like she wants to open Vegas back up like right now. So she's like she doesn't all those like all those pools, all those buffets, all
Oh
those
man,
shows, all those
there are a lot of states who's opened up or are trying to open up. They're tired of staying in quarantine.
mm,
People are trying to get back to their daily lives, but
like how are things there?
they're popping off.
Yeah.
It's starting to get worse and worse, but it's looking like people don't care because whenever I've gone out like yesterday and the day before, and both days like the streets were like filled. I'm just like, it's crazy.
Mm. Just like I mean, are people wearing masks outside over there?
Yeah, most of the people are wearing masks
Mm.
whenever they like go to like public places, but like if you see people like just hanging out like near their house or whatever, they're not really wearing masks or anything.
I mean, yeah, it just seems, I think just because of the way that the news puts stuff out, there's so many mixed messages at the beginning and stuff, and just all these different messages and stuff. So it's like there's gonna be a lot of people that just aren't gonna do it. Just aren't gonna do it just because you're like, well, this important person told me it's no big deal. So and then I stopped paying attention after that, and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. And um, so yeah, I just hope that we can figure it out and just we can we can kind of get past this and you know try to I don't think things are ever going to be the same because
I agree because they're talking about it being like a seasonal thing, and
mm,
then they're talking about like it being in December along with the flu. So you have to worry about the flu and coronavirus.
wow.
So
Mm.
I hope they come up with a vaccine for it or a cure or something.
And that's
But
supposed to be like I just I guess what was it, what's been I've heard that the measles virus, this is a while ago now, but that took 4 years that like from the time the pandemic started or whatever for measles
mhm,
until they had a solution for it was 4 years. But I think we can come up with stuff a lot faster than that now, but it still takes time to test it on people.
I agree.
Right?
But I think we could probably find it faster because it is hitting like the whole world.
Yeah.
Everybody's working on it right now. So
All these smart people just sitting at home.
yeah,
So,
thinking of a way.
like it's like just like staying in a prison cell. Like you got the time type thing.
Exactly.
But yeah. So like trying to tell me what else is going on. So yeah. So you were so kind of like your content and stuff. So you were in the Marine Corps.
I joined in 2012, went to boot camp in, I think in September. And then, no, I'm sorry. I went to boot camp in October and
Mhm.
then got out 2016 in September.
Okay. Okay. So like what was your boot camp experience like? Were you able to blend in, or were you getting yelled at a lot?
At first, it was a shock. I mean, I already knew what to expect because I would talk with the recruiter every day and whatnot. But actually, like being there and seeing it happen, and
Yeah,
like right off the bat, like stuff got serious,
right.
and I was just
Uh,
like, "This is a whole new world, and I can't do nothing about it."
I mean that's hilarious. One of my best friends over here in Omaha is like was in the Marine Corps too, and so he did like he was in the infantry and stuff, and
Hmm.
he did like he did two combat tours in Iraq and stuff, and um so this is a real, he's a computer guy now, like me, like IT guy.
Yes.
And so yeah, just real stand up dude. So it's kind of hilarious that he kind of reminds me like he's kind of a big guy. So so he reminds me of like the dude from The Incredibles, like the dad.
The dad.
He's like a black dude or whatever, but still just this kid, he's like at the cubicle. He's and like
Yeah.
he's like Marine, and people are like talking crazy to you and stuff, but you like been shot at and stuff. So
Yeah,
so just being able to hold it all together and stuff, to me it's a lot of respect, because you can just it's a lot of discipline to be able to hold it together like that with people, like, because I don't like knowing what you can do.
I agree. I agree.
But yeah, man. So so what was your job in the Marines?
I was a AV operator or amphibious assault vehicle operator.
Okay, that's cool though. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that how much training? How long was the school for that?
Um, I want to say maybe like 2 months, I believe. 2 months or a month around there. I think 2 months around there.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. Well, that's I did well, I was in the Air Force, or I guess they call it the Chair Force or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm from like 2001 to 2010, and so I did 5 years active, and then I did a year in the California National Guard, and then I did like 2.5 years in the Nebraska National Guard. And so and then I had a top secret clearance for like 6 years, and so it was pretty cool. It sounds cool, but I shouldn't even do anything or say anything cool. It just like,
Uh,
but I mean, I did work in a place where you had to have a top secret clearance just to be in the room, and so,
okay.
for like 18 months, and so
Sounds intense.
yeah, and so actually what's intense is like in boot camp, because my whole experience, like you said that like you had you were working with your recruiter every day and all this stuff. Like I had like the way I joined was like set up for like they like really like took advantage of me not knowing anything about anything,
Oh God.
like so I just like because I had like taken like two buses like across town in Vegas or whatever to go there, and then like I was like, yeah, so what's boot camp like? And they're like, yeah, fold a couple of t-shirts, do a little marching around, you'll be all right, man. Type deal.
They set you up.
Ah, type thing. All the people yelling, you're terrible and you suck and stuff, and like I'm like, why is everybody cursing at me for this? I'm good, man. I'm just happy to be here. But
Yeah.
yeah, boot camp. I did not blend in, and so I made it through. I didn't get like held back or anything, but for some reason, there for some reason, like I wasn't like problem child or anything like that, but it's just like a wrong place, wrong time, like a few times.
I feel you. In my boot camp, there was another Cabrera.
Mm.
So whenever he would get in trouble, he'd be like, Cabrera, step to the line. And then me and him would both step up. And he would look at me and be like, bitch, what the fuck? I'm like, his
Right,
recruit's name is Cabrera, sir.
right.
And he's like, all right, I'm going to
That's
fuck both
crazy
of
because
y'all up.
like what do you do about that? Like both of y'all don't move.
Yeah. And he's just like, all right, good. Both of y'all get on my quarterdeck. I was like, all right. Okay,
Mhm.
can't do nothing
I
about
remember,
it.
yeah, like I remember I got in trouble like in the chow hall or whatever, the mess hall or whatever, like, and so because and then yeah, because this is the crazy part is that like like when I was in boot camp, like the guys and the girls, like the men, the women, females or whatever, they'd be like eating at the same table as you, but you could not like look at them or talk to them at all. right?
Mm,
Which I
that's
which I which I did not do, and so which I did not do, and so but so this like in the morning, and I was like eating and because they gave me like 30 seconds to eat or whatever, so I was like and then so like they're like trainee, that's like that could be anybody,
yeah.
so I'm not gonna turn my head. Oh, they're like trainee, and then like after a while, I was like, oh, that's me. And so like, and they're like, get up. And so they had, and so I had like a dude here, and like a dude
Oh
here,
my god.
like all like screaming at me because I was like eating, like the way I was eating was like disrespectful to like the females at the table or whatever. Because I was
Oh
like,
gosh.
because
I
like
got yeah.
because like they would be like, you're done, get up, right? So
Yeah. And I had a story. I think it was like my first yeah, it was my first day of receiving my DIs or my drill instructors, and they sent us to the chow hall. But the thing was, we were on the range,
yeah,
so we went to like a range chow hall, and we were standing in line, and I was trying to put my cover in my pocket, and I was leaning out, and then the two people in front of me, they were talking and laughing, and then it was kind of funny, so I kind of laughed, and then a drill instructor from another platoon came out of nowhere, and he came up and he yoked all three of us up. He's like, "Good, you guys want to mess around in the chow hall? Get out!" And I was just like, "What?" Like, "Get out!" I'm just standing there. He's like, "Get the fuck out!" He's like freaking out, and I'm just like, I turned around, and I got outside, and I looked at them, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck just happened?" And then my drill instructor was behind me. He's like, "Good, you want to fucking talk? Shut the fuck up and run back to the barracks."
right.
So I'm in. On top of that, it's raining. So I'm sitting there running back to the barracks. It's like a 5 minute like jog back,
Yeah.
and we're all jogging back. And I'm still trying to talk to him. So I'm like, "Yo, why we get kicked out?" And I didn't notice the drill instructor was behind me. And he's like, "Shut up and keep going." And I looked behind me. I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, "Oh snap!" I didn't know he was there. But then when we got there, he just made us get on the quarter deck, made us get ammo cans. He had us dumping on top of us, and then he just like IT'd us with ammo cans, and it was just freaking not a good time.
Wow, that
Not a good time.
I mean the the Air Force equivalent to that, because because like it's crazy because I got a lot of trouble in boot camp, a lot of trouble in school, and then the first 3 months of my first duty station, I got put up for airman of the quarter. And so like, and then like,
Yeah,
I got put up for airman of the quarter twice and airman of the year once. And then but I was in trouble all the time in like boot camp and like school and stuff like that. And
yeah.
so like so when I was in school, I went to school in Mississippi, and I swear, man, like half the time it was my fault. I won't say it was my last. I mean, I was doing dumb stuff too because I was
I
like
mean,
20,
sometimes you can't help it.
like 19, like 19, 20 or whatever, right? And so like, but and so oh yeah, so so we had like like room inspections in school, and then we had like uniform inspections and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
And so I remember that I like woke up and then ironed my uniform, like sprayed it all down and shined everything on my boots, and everything was just like crisp and shiny and mirrored. Like I didn't even like sit down in my pants. I just like put them on and like walked outside, and then I failed my uniform inspection.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh my, and so I was just like, just
I'm
like
prepared for this.
I can't believe it. And so, and then like, and the same thing, like I failed my room inspection because he found dirt inside the light in the ceiling and stuff, like something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so like, and so because of that, we had to do like like remedial training during the weekend, which you're talking about, like type of thing.
Hmm.
And so like, and that was like, so everybody else is like, hanging out and like going places and
Yeah.
watching movies and like hanging out with the girls and stuff like that, and do all the fun stuff that you do. And like, we're like 7 o'clock in the morning in like full uniform, like in
Oh
formation and all that
man.
jazz. But like, but we had to like, so the barracks was like 3 stories, like there's like a 3-story building, and I was on the 3rd floor. And so the instructor would say like, you know, we would like we'd be like in service dress uniform, and then so he would say, you know, camo or a BDUs or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
6 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever like that. So you had to go all the way up to thing and like change all your
Oh
clothes and
man.
like and then come all the way down. And then
Yep.
every single time, dude, there would be somebody late.
Someone. Yep.
You
There's
know,
always that one.
and like do it
There's
again, do it again, you know, like that. And then, you know, they got us doing, you know, all this stuff and like in the baseball diamond and like just all in the dirt and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, you got to go eat like you're in boot camp and everybody else is like laughing and joking and stuff. And you're like moving around. It's terrible. So,
yeah.
but yeah, but I had my overall, like, you know, overall, you know, it was, the Air Force was pretty cool. Like, you know, it's definitely like any other job. It's, you know, it's definitely, you know, it's not all cherries. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff that, you know, that you got to do that sucks a lot. So
Yeah, I think the military in general, there's a
right,
lot of things you have to do that sucks
yeah,
if you're enlisted. Yeah.
right, exactly. And so, I mean, I was in computers like the first 6 years, and so like so because of that, it wasn't as bad. You know, like, um, but I mean, but it was still like actually it's different because I was going around fixing everybody's computers on the base.
Okay.
And so like, you know, that was my first few years when I was in North Carolina and stuff. And so like and so the crazy part is like, you know, you're like you know, an E1 or an E2 or an E3 or something like that, like a real low rank, and then you have to go to like the base commander's office and like fix their computer or something like that. And then and like you're like representing the entire unit, the entire communications unit, squadron or whatever.
Oh man, that's probably nerve-wracking.
Yep. And so that happened to me like a lot of times. And so
I
that,
was I was stationed in 29 Palms.
oh,
And,
okay, like California and stuff.
yeah, and they don't really have any higher ups out there for
Mm,
my MOS at least.
mm.
Like I think the highest we have out there is E8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So he's like, so he's kind of like a, you know, kind of like, I'm kind of a big deal type thing. You know, 'cause
yeah, pretty much.
yeah, because you know, if he's the highest rank, then yeah,
Yeah, but they were cool. They were chill.
yeah.
They didn't really do that much.
Like the highest rank that, you know, that I got to meet. Well, I mean, I've been in the presence of 4-star generals, and like I've been in presence of general officers like several times. And so like never important enough to actually talk. Well, I spoken to like a 2-star general before, I was doing. It's funny because I was a computer, so like I was like my job was like was it do the slideshow one time, like next slide,
Oh
the
yeah.
guy at the back, that thing, and so there was like six. It was two-star generals and 6 1-star generals and like a whole bunch of colonels. And so and then I messed up the slideshow and they all turned around.
Oh god.
And so like oh no type of thing. So I
Oh god.
so it's whatever. And so but I mean I mean the cool part it was like all friends just hanging out, running around, fixing computers. And so if you couldn't do it by yourself, you just, you know, I would just call you and you're like, you know, hey man, bring him with you. You know, y'all go figure it out together. And that was kind of the adventure of it all. Was just like, you know, the idea is just to fix it. You know, figure it out. We think you're smart enough to figure out computer problems, so go do that. And so that was it. And so, but
Was there like a problem one time that you ran into that you couldn't fix?
yeah, like a lot of times. So and that's why, you know, I try to stay humble and stuff like that and try to have a good attitude because, you know, the few times where I have an ego or like get cocky or something like that, it always blows up in my face. So like and so like so I remember like doing that, like coming over to somebody's, you know, somewhere on base and coming in there and it was like something really, really easy, like, you know, installing a monitor or something or installing like some software on the computer. So like, oh, y'all called me all the way over here for this? I would have done it 5 minutes and then I'll be out. And I was there for like 2 or 3 hours and couldn't figure it out and stuff like that.
Oh man.
And so like, oh God, I look like such an idiot. And so like, And so, but so, yeah, so I just try to like. So now so now when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm just like, okay, it's not how fast I'll fix it is when it's when I'll fix it type thing. But yeah, dude, yeah, man. So I've there were a few times, but but in general, like you always have help, but the Air Force, the military customer service is like, oh, you're gonna fix it. There's that's your job, bro. So like like some people shoot people, you fix computers. So I mean, so
You
that's
gonna do your job.
do your job, do your job straight up and
Yep.
down. So um, probably like something kind of funny or something. One of the funnier stories is like we were moving some computer equipment one time, and this is probably in the Marine Corps too. It's probably in all the branches. Like the important people have their own cars, and so like the important people have their own cars, and so like you have to actually salute the front license plate because it has the rank on the license plate and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like and so we were like walking marching or whatever walking down the sidewalk, and so one of those cars came by, and so I saluted or whatever, and the dude next to me that I was with like didn't, and so that car was like stopped, and it stopped and was like you come here, and like I want to know who taught you guys to not salute me pretty much. Who's your supervisor because all
Always.
yeah.
Always. Who's your commanding officer?
Well, I want to know
Teach me
who
too,
like, I want
Sergeant.
to know who trained you to like not salute. Yeah, you already know how it goes.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, but so tell me, man. So what's your so that's enough of the military. I talk about that shit all the time, but what's your so you have Crohn's too, right? So
No, I got ulcerative colitis.
mm,
Yes.
and so what's the what's life like with so like, tell me your story with that. How long have you had it? When did you get diagnosed? Like, do you have it? Is it pretty much under control? You know, a lot of medicine and stuff, and what's kind of life looking like?
Well, for me, it started around 2017. I got out the military in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and then started to. I was trying to bulk, so I was trying to gain weight, and I was going from 150 to 160, and I did. But during that time, I was starting to get symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 2017, I was starting to get like blood and stool, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at first it started like a little bit, and then I thought it would be like when you have like a rough poop sometimes that you get
Right,
blood. That's what I thought it was.
right.
And then over time, it just started to get worse and worse, and then it was like
Like,
I
like,
filled it completely.
yeah, kind of like no matter what you were, like kind of like no matter what you did, kind of thing. Like no matter how changing your diet, changing your life.
Hmm. Yeah, so then it got to the point where I told my parents, and then at the time I was still trying to get set up with the VA.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have health insurance or
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, my dog is
It's all right.
but, hey, go to the other room, buddy. Go to the room. Okay. All right.
That's
Sorry
all
about that.
right. Yeah, we got done. So that's cool.
Yeah, at the time I didn't have health insurance or anything, so my parents took me to like I want to say like a private doctor or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and he thought that I had like hemorrhoids or something,
Right.
because at the time I was doing like heavy lifting,
Mm.
and then he tried to put me like on like a fiber diet, wheat, whole wheat, and all that,
Just
and that
did nothing.
nothing. It didn't help. And then he told me he had recommended that I should get it looked at, like a colonoscopy. So
Mm-hmm.
then I was just like, I really didn't want to do one, like at the time, because I was young. I was
Right.
like
Yeah, but
20, 23, 24, around there.
like what I mean, like for you, did they put you to sleep for that? Right.
Oh yeah, they did. Um,
Because that's because it sounds scary, but but if you kind of block out what's going to happen to you, and just kind of like
you just wake up and then you're just like, okay, you're done. I'm like, all right, cool. But yeah, he put me on that diet that didn't help. I scheduled a colonoscopy. I want to say, I think it was like April or something, 2017, or and then I canceled it because literally the week of the appointment, everything went away, like all my symptoms, like blood and everything. So I was just like, I told my parents, and they're all like, just wait, don't cancel it, and see how you feel tomorrow. And if you
Right.
feel good,
Right.
think about it. And then I was like, all right. So then the next day came and everything was good. And then I
Mhm.
thought to myself, I was like, you see, I'm young. Like nothing
Right.
seriously wrong can be, wrong with me.
Right.
So then I called the hospital and I told them, I was like, hey, um, I don't know if I should get this colonoscopy. Like I'm not having symptoms anymore and everything's good. I think I'm good now. And the lady was like, are you sure? Like we still recommend that you get it. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't want to get it. And then I hung up. And then I want to say towards September, it was around my cousin's birthday. We went out drinking for his birthday
Mhm.
and we had a good time and all that. And then when the night was over, we came back to my girlfriend's house and I used the bathroom. And then when I used the bathroom, I looked and I filled the whole bowl up with blood.
Oh my God,
And I was
man.
just like, I was like,
That has to be just terrifying.
I was just like, oof. I literally called my girlfriend. I showed her. I was like, yo, and she's like, you got to go to the hospital. I
Man.
was like, yeah, I'm gonna make an appointment. So then I was like, I told them that um I was trying to get the colonoscopy.
So, I mean, besides doing that, I mean, how did you physically feel?
Um,
Like, I mean, did you feel like, because you would think that that would like just drain you, fatigue you, like, that you'd be pretty wiped out.
I was drunk at the time, so
Right,
I was
right,
just I was just thinking, I was like, man, something's up, like something's seriously up, like pretty bad, but
right,
I'm just gonna sleep this off and wake up tomorrow and figure it out.
right. So like,
But yeah, but that happened in September and months went by. I'm pretty sure I was still going to school for uh, I was going to community college trying to get my bachelor's,
mm,
or not my bachelor's, I'm sorry, my associates
yeah,
in general studies to do criminal justice.
mm-hmm,
And yeah, I was still going to school in December, and then in the springtime, January, all that, I was still going to school, but it wasn't as bad. Everything was good. I was taking Remicade.
okay,
I started off twice a month. Yeah, it was like no. It was one time every 2 months,
mm-hmm,
and then it wasn't helping, so they moved it to one time every month. And I want to say to when was it? I want to say April-ish. Around that time, I started to get worse,
mm,
and I was still in school. I guess it was because of finals, and I was just stressing and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
started getting worse,
yeah,
and um, I started getting sense of urgency.
mm-hmm,
Like it started hitting, and it started hitting while I was in class too.
mm,
So I was starting to get scared, and I was just like, yo. So I started like making up plans, like, all right, I'm gonna get to school this time. I'm gonna use the bathroom before class. I'm
right,
gonna sit by the door, and if
right,
anything happens, I'm just gonna get up and get out.
right.
And that's pretty much what I did for that last semester. I'm glad that was my last semester there, but I finished that. I got my associates,
I
and
congrats,
then
man. That's
yeah, and then I
doing something
applied
else
to
super duper
George Mason.
well.
Yeah, I know. I applied to George Mason. I got in, and when was it? It was for the fall semester. So in August, yeah, in August, I was still trying to get used to it. It was a big college. I was doing so much walking
Mm,
because I would park off campus,
right.
and then what do you call it? It was really hot during the time, and then it would be raining. It was a whole mess. Like the weather was a
Where's
mess.
that? Is that Edmond? Is like where's that school? Is that there in like
No,
Manassas?
it's in Fairfax.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Let's say I said again. I was there. I was like 7 years old when I was there. So.
yeah. So with school, I started to get a little sick,
Mhm.
and the sickness got worse, and it turned into a sinus infection,
Mm.
and I didn't know what it was. Like no, like my parents and everybody, we didn't know what it was, and I was just getting fevers. And as soon as that started, I started flaring really hard. So I was having a lot of sense of urgency, and it got up to the point where I dropped out because I didn't want to. I was missing too much school, and then I dropped out in time the last day to get my refund.
Nice.
So
That's a small silver lining, at least. You know.
yes, so I dropped out, and yeah, I just been trying to get my life back together after that.
Trust me, man. I know so much. I mean, like, you know, I'm about to tell you my story here a little bit, and it's you know, it's a crazy road too. So how much before I say, you know, about me, like, so how much school you have? So you're still about halfway to your bachelor's again. So
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much.
so like, well, this, you know, and how old are you now?
26.
So I'm 38, bro, and so like, and so,
Yeah.
you know, like old man status. So I'm getting there. So you know, like, but yeah. So, but I've had Crohn's disease since, you know, '95.
Damn,
So and so I and so I was 14. You know, so that means I was 14.
it's
So
crazy.
ninth grade, and so like, and I was living in Las Vegas and stuff, and and so a lot of people, well, I've heard a lot of stories like, you know, that are, yeah, like yours, like where they said, you know, you have all these, you know, crazy symptoms that kind of lead up to this kind of this bigger event and stuff like that, and that's kind of same thing for me, man, because like, well, no, for me it was like the opposite. It was like I was fine, and then like Crohn's disease came out of like nowhere, and so I was at I was spending the night at a friend's house, um, like a Saturday night, and we had went to like McDonald's, I got like an orange drink, like then when they could do some orange drinks and stuff, and so like a high
Yeah.
school, so like that and like some chicken nuggets or whatever, and so like I ate all that, and you know, we're playing video games or whatnot, and but like, so I got like a horrible stomach ache that night, and
Mm.
and I was like, oh my gosh, and so it was like the worst. I just remember like the worst stomach ache of my life, like the worst stomach ache, just like rolling knives, and of course that's crazy. Of course, my dad's calling, uh, you know, but and so anyway, it was like rolling knives in my stomach, and the next morning, you know, I was living with him, and so you know, my him and my stepmom, I told him, I was like, man, you know, the stomach ache, you know, is not going away. It's really bad, and my sister's mom is a doctor, and so she was like, you know, she kind of, I guess had that, you know, that sixth sense of like, wait a minute, this is pretty bad, and so
And she said get to the
yeah,
hospital.
yeah, and so took me to the hospital, and so the doctor started like pushing on my stomach, and it's crazy, Carlos, that like that so they're pushing on my stomach. They're like, "Does it hurt here?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and then like
You got Crohn's.
and they're like, you know, uh-oh, and then so like they immediately told me to like take off all my clothes and put on a gown, and then they put me into like into the operating room, and that was like literally like
Instant.
5 or 10 minutes, like bing, 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 like no thinking, just doing, like just immediately, like emergency surgery,
That's good.
you know, emergency surgery, and so like, or they call like almost like exploratory surgery, like because they knew something was really wrong, but they didn't know what it was, and so they was like literally like just cut me open and started like just like I took a dive in, and so they um, took out 6 inches of my colon, and then they took out my appendix at the same time. So that was when I was 14, and so after, and so that I was in the hospital for a week. You know, I ended up having to like shuffle around with the walker, and like I lost all this weight and stuff like that. And my sister was actually born at that same time, my middle sister, and so when I was at home and stuff, and so I was actually fine for 14 years after that. And so like, no, actually no medicine. And so like, so even though, so Crohn's disease is of course, you know, chronic, and, you know,
Yeah.
it's like ulcerative colitis and stuff. It's like, you know, it's, you know, there's no cure and stuff. And so I was, you know, hanging out with somebody who was very toxic at the time. So like, and so like, relationships and stuff. And so that and a whole lot of other factors, I got sick again. I don't know. Maybe it's his life. Maybe it was my time or whatever. But so from I was from 14 to when I was 28, I was fine. And then so I was still in the National Guard here, and I was working at like the Cox Cable or whatever. And so like, and that whole year sucked. And so that was like I started getting probably almost around now, 11 years. I've been sick. Well, I mean, I've been effectively sick, for 11 years, like every day. Like, so like, because the medicine that I take only kind of solves the problem. And so, but I was, I started getting really, really bad stomach aches in like March, April of 2009. And this got worse and worse and worse. And like, really bad cramping and like, like, kind of like, yeah, hemorrhoids and like all these like, not really like blood, but just almost like everything that I was eating was just making me like really, really sick and like really like, yeah, like almost like strictures or something. Like just like it's the food is like really like pushing to get through different parts of my body, and so it's just like
Yeah.
really, really painful. And so
Like you can like feel it traveling.
yeah, and so
Yeah.
and so I guess it's almost like I think they call like almost they can be like tears, like
Yeah.
like
I,
like like, like
yeah.
fistulas, I think they're called them. And so like and so pretty much I went to the emergency room like pain alone. I mean, and guys usually try to like tough things out and like yeah, like like I'm not wasting any money on a doctor type thing. So and so you try to like like tough it out and stuff, but it got so bad where you're like, man, I had to go to the doctor, like, and so same thing. And so, that happened like two times. And the third time they actually put like a temporary ostomy, like a bag,
Hmm.
like, and so that was a lot because, well, actually that experience, I got that tube taken out and put back in with no anesthesia or whatever. And so actually the surgery, like I'll get to the surgery the surgery in a second. But and so I had yeah, so I remember being in the doctor's office or whatever, and they're like, so y'all gonna give me like any anesthesia for this, or anything like,
Like, no, you good.
this, we're just gonna pull out this tube, we're gonna pull out this tube, this plastic tube that's going all the way into your intestines or whatever, and like we're just gonna go ahead and yank that out and then put in a new one. I was like, because oh, it's real quick, and like, and I remember, dude, that hurt so much. That hurt so much.
I would have been like, nah,
That
you guys are not doing that.
I started laughing, because you're all liars. You lied.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and they're like, why are you laughing? It's a coping mechanism, man. Because if I wasn't laughing right now,
I'll be
whoo,
fighting.
I'd be fighting all y'all. So what little energy I got, type thing.
Oh man.
And so and so I so the fourth time I was actually admitted to the hospital, and so they ended up taking another 18 inches of my colon out, and they actually took out this thing called the ileum. And so like the ileum is that actually is the organ in your body that kind of takes all the moisture out of the food that you eat, so you can
Mm.
so you can have like normal bowel movements and stuff. And so having that gone is kind of important. And so like and so the medicine that I take is kind of like that the ileum is kind of almost like the body's brakes. The food that you eat. So you don't have diarrhea every day.
Okay.
And so the powder that I take is kind of like a artificial emergency brake for
Mm.
food. So without that, so after that surgery in 2009 until about 2 years ago, I didn't have that powder. And so it was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years of like diarrhea, like no matter what I ate, for like every 2 to 3 hours every day, and going to work and going to school and doing all that stuff. And so like and so that and so I kind of believing that there is no diet that will make that can't make me feel better, because it all makes me sick. Doesn't matter if I eat a salad or eat a burger, doesn't matter. So like,
I agree.
but now the powder, if I take this, it's called like Prevlite or I think, or cholesterol, and like I can actually eat Crohn's friendly food and drink water and do all those kind of things. and I can actually like, not be sick. And so it's kind of like, so my default is sick, and so like, I have to kind of claw my way into like normal. And so, so yeah, so that's the thing, So that's why it's kind of why I do this, is because people don't know that trying to go to school, or or just actually just making it through every day is is that there's an extra layer of BS that nobody ever sees.
Yeah.
And so like they just don't. And so yeah, so that's so I'm kind of in the same boat, you know, just trying to get your mind right, trying to have a really good positive attitude, because that's definitely not always the case. And
I've been in a real funk lately, but I just recently got out of it. It was to like a point where like I wasn't even on prednisone or anything, but like everything was like making me angry. I was just
mm,
angry
mm,
for no reason.
yep,
I distanced myself from like everybody. I even like stopped posting on like social media and everything. It was just, I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, the reason I'm posting on social media is because I was so angry.
Yeah.
Like the reason, that's the reason, like I was, I'm trying to like be a happier guy and stuff, because, between how I physically felt and some of the people that were around me, I was like, man, life is not very fun right now, and I'm kind of, pissed off that that people that could make my life easier are not. Especially when I've asked for that help, that kind of stuff, and so
Yeah,
like, and so that's so that's why it's so important with these kind of conditions to have a good support system,
exactly.
because especially when because the average person, guys especially, asking for help doesn't come easy, sometimes. And so
Mhm.
so when you've dug deep and put your pride aside to ask for help, and then and that's and then someone says that they can, and then that doesn't really happen, it can be like frustrating, like, no, you don't understand. This is not like a nice to have. This is a need to have, if we're
Yeah,
gonna be hanging out, type thing. People, nobody has to help anybody, but
exactly.
if we're gonna be hanging out, this is what I need, type thing. And so,
Yeah.
so fortunately, wifey is extremely helpful. And so, and little guy keeps me, the hilarious thing about my son right now, I have a 5-year-old. And so like, I'm like, he's like, I want to exercise all the time now.
Heck yeah.
So, like, because I'm always like, yeah, it's like, Gracie, we should get up early and like exercise, man. And I like never do it. And then he's like, Dad, I want to do it now. Like, I want to exercise. I want to get out the weights. I want to do this.
That's
You know,
exciting.
like, Dad, I want to race. Like every single day he wants to race me now outside and stuff. And so like, okay, man, okay. And so that's cool. I mean, so so he's motivating me when when I need the motivation. So that's definitely cool.
That's great.
Yeah. So but yeah, and so but my bigger thing is that my life is not just Crohn's in the military and stuff. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a kind of a geek IT guy, video gamer. Like I said, like Animal Crossing and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and so I the idea with Animal Crossing was to was to have the wife stream it, and so like, but I want to play it too, and like so, but then I'm like, well, how are all three of us going to all play in that game? It's still have time to do so, and so I'm thinking that I might just play as somebody else's character or something like that, and give them different, like actually, or like play like little guy's character and give him different outfits or something. And so, but but yeah, but I didn't know that you can't stream to Twitch on the Switch.
You need a capture card.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way. I googled it. I was like, oh,
Yeah, you need like I think it's like $100 or something, like 110.
yeah. So we're gonna do that soon. So because I think that that's just to me that's just a good way to whatever you're trying to sell in life, whatever you're trying to do in life, because to me all that stuff's kind of like you can have fun with it and still can be it can be like a commercial for what you're trying to do. So you're trying to make money or whatever. That's what all social media really is. If like if if it's done correctly, it's all just a commercial for for you. And
What
so
you trying to do?
yeah, and so I mean, just putting out content, even just being kind of building an audience and stuff, and just putting out content. Eventually, no matter what, people are gonna buy what you're selling. And so, So that's so part of me is kind of like this entrepreneurial guy, So like I said, I've been working for people forever, like military and like different jobs and stuff. I mean, I just say got let go like a month ago, but um, the position was eliminated, and so like, but I was there for 4 years, and so like, and that was the IT guy for like the entire country. Like, there was 5 of us in the IT department, and I had 750 people that had my cell phone number or whatever, and so I was helping all over the country, and so I'm like, I just kind of want to be able to use that, especially now people are working at home and stuff, and I'm just like, there's so many things I could be doing. So like, so I'm just always trying to be entrepreneurial. My mom is a small business consultant. Actually, a small business coach. That's what she does for a living. She does it right now. So, and then my dad was like a kind of corporate America type dude. And so like, my mom was actually on the Food Network. So it's
Nice.
kind of dope. So it's kind of like, and she I guess I'm gonna brag a little bit. Like she actually got the after Frito Lay, she got the contract herself to have her cookies on Southwest Airlines.
That's pretty dope.
And so like, so I went from this huge company to just like a small mom and pop business. And she got that contract, and that actually messed up her business. That actually was like too big. It was too big. It was too big, and I'm like, yeah, you have to be able to like scale it, like they'd actually make it. They should be able to take on that much business and stuff. And so it was like to have your cookies on every single flight for Southwest Airlines in the country.
That's a lot.
Like somebody pass out peanuts or pass out cookies or whatever, and sodas or whatever, the little car. Yeah. So like, that's a lot. And so I mean, and we were just living. I was there, so I was there when it happened. So like, we were just living in an apartment or whatever. So. And so we tried. We lived in an apartment, and then she had like a little like a little bakery. And so but she was still putting out cookies in like Starbucks and like movie theaters and that kind of stuff, like all over Austin and over Texas and San Antonio and stuff and Houston but that's to me that's cool enough. But going from that kind of smaller thing to the huge thing, it just it kind of ruined her business. Kind of like it was too much. It was like she just didn't have the right team type thing. She was like able to get the money, but not the team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, and so that's, stuff happens, but now she's able to, use those kind of experiences to help people, grow their own businesses type thing. So
that's good.
Yeah. And she still likes to do it. She was telling her to stay like, she she doesn't believe in retirement. She believes in working. So, believes in working till you can't. What else are you doing? So like, and so like, I'm not exactly like that. To me, life being a working vacation would be awesome. To where, you're hanging out in a cool place, and doing a little bit of work and then going out and then going and do something fun. That's kind of cool. But, so you're saying criminal justice. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. That popped in my head.
Okay.
So what would you want to do with that?
I wanted to go SWAT.
Really?
Yeah.
Like kicking in doors and stuff.
Not like legit SWAT.
I mean, it sounds like, and that would be awesome. I mean, that's that would be really good for going from Marines to that. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And so I mean, there's still, there's probably still ways you could, kind of realize that dream in a different way, and so like,
I don't think that dream is possible anymore. Being in that high stressed environment.
Oh yeah, I mean,
not really good.
Yeah, so what? I mean, but it's still, there's still some value in finishing your degree and stuff though. So I would say that like I was making like $13 or $14 an hour, and then I got my bachelor's degree all online. I did the University of Phoenix thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I went from like $13-14 an hour to like salary immediately. Getting a bachelor's degree. So like 8 weeks later. So like I was working in like I was still fixing computers and stuff, but it was like kind of like a meat grinder type of environment.
Yeah.
And then so I went from that to like 8 weeks later, like right, like got the degree, And then like 2 months later, I was like in a financial firm downtown with like a glass coffee table and couch in my office, and like a full kitchen, and like like I was I had like a guy that was able to like do errands for me and stuff, and the whole
Assistant.
9 yards, like the whole 9 yards, like walking around downtown and stuff, go to lunch and all these fun things. I was there for a year doing that, and so I always tell them, but I didn't get my degree until I was like 33, something like that, or maybe yeah, something like that. And so I always tell anybody, like, don't be like me, like try to get it like done as early as you possibly can, so you can do other stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Instagram, especially like saying like college is stupid, and education is this, that, and this. To me it's like,
Education's a scam.
yeah, education's a scam and stuff like that. Try to so I believe that you know like life experience and formal experience are both valuable.
I
And so
agree.
so like because you can't what's books this without common sense, right? So like so you got to have both. You got to be able to go out in the world and do dumb stuff and have bad shit happen to you, and then you also got to go to school and stuff. So like and so because to me, like, it's still no, it still has value.
Exactly.
It still has,
Plus, you get to network.
yeah, no, and no, you get to network, and you get to meet people, and then um just to me, like, I don't know, like, if if you want to get a job or work or to me, yeah, I would say that, like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe make your own money, you want to sell something, you want to sell anything, like, it doesn't matter what you're selling, you're hustling or whatever, like, if you get an economics degree or like an accounting degree and you sell stuff, that might be a good idea, type thing. If you get like an entrepreneurship degree, a business degree, any of those kind of things, it might help you stay in business, a little while longer. And so I think, and that's just, I mean, people can be rich and famous and do very, very well without it, but people get robbed and exploited every day.
Exactly.
And so that to me that's the difference. And so that's what formal education can do. Sometimes is that you don't have to rely on people to do things for you, like read numbers and stuff for you, and read forms and stuff for you. You can actually read those things yourself, know them yourself, and work with people a little bit better, not get robbed. So, but anyway, um, what time is it? So, all right, well, I think I'll let you go, bro. And
All
so,
right. Thank
it's
you
very,
for having me.
very, very welcome, Carlos. And so, maybe it'd be cool if we can do this again with, what was the other guy's name?
Kevin. Yeah, I
Kevin.
don't know what happened to him.
No, guy, like, I would make some jokes, but I won't. So,
Go for it. It doesn't matter.
like, like all these things. So,
Yeah, a little something. Got cold feet.
it's okay. It's okay. Like, it took me a long time to even get on camera. I was like anti-social media and all that kind of stuff. And so, like IT guy, I didn't trust it. And so, so I can definitely understand, to me, getting on camera, telling your story, talking about Crohn's disease, talking about colitis, all these things are not easy to do. They're just
It's
not.
not. But once you start doing it,
Yeah,
it starts to get,
easier.
easier and
Yeah.
easier.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of
Exactly.
doing this, because it's good for to me it's a win-win for everybody, because you get this stuff
Because
off.
it's also good for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this stuff not feel, because I'm in Nebraska, right? There's nobody here. So, you gotta talk to people, bro. But I mean, it isn't that bad, but but there's just not a lot of people with Crohn's. Like I go to the doctor's office, it's all like 75-year-old people and stuff like that. And so it's kind of cool talking to people like you and everybody else on Instagram and other places and stuff, about what they're going through. So, well, all right. So yeah, well, you stay safe out there.
You too.
You just stay healthy, man, and and I'm gonna try to figure out this switch thing, and so maybe we can get on there.
All
Like,
right, I got you.
do you have like a PS4?
I have an Xbox One and PC.
Ah, that guy. All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
All right, man.
the rest of your day. I'll holler at you later.
Take
All
it
right.
easy.
You too. Bye-bye.